gloss. And not everyone likes shiny, but a good percentage of people like shiny guitars. And that's just a reality of it. I prefer the matte finishes, the natural woods, the matte finishes, but
And
not
the
everybody.
with the automotive paints, you can put a matte or satin clear on it if you want.
Yeah.
It's it's available.
Yeah, I've done so. What I usually do, or what I'm doing with this one, the body is gloss. The fingerboard, because it's maple, needs to be sealed. So it's and the maple neck are getting a matte finish, and then I am doing a gloss finish on the head cap. So it's like I think I don't like the feel of gloss necks, but
That was something with this, and also with the giveaway guitar. The back you can see is not near as shiny
mhm,
as the front. It's a lot more apparent on the giveaway,
mhm,
um, because it's quite dull, and then this side's very shiny.
mhm.
Um,
Was that done on
but
on purpose?
it's kind of just my preference.
Hmm.
Um, the the back isn't always necessarily something that's looked at a whole lot.
Hmm.
Like it's looked at, but while it's being played, they're up against a body.
Yeah.
Um, so it doesn't have to be stupid shiny. Um,
I've seen builders do that where they'll just do the top of it gloss and the rest is matte. And then that saves you a lot of time with wet sanding, you
a
know.
lot.
Especially if you're doing a flat top, like that's not bad at all. Just to have a glossy top that you can wet sand in like hour or two and you're done. So a lot of times it's just time, like how much time can you actually devote to
Yeah.
the guitar. Yeah, Will has a guitar like that. Actually, Will brought in that guitar he's talking about. What who built that guitar, Will, that had the glossy but the matte body? Binding is a great way to separate that line. Yeah, that actually is a good use of binding. Blackwater, yeah.
I've I've never used binding, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of it. A lot of it is due to just aesthetics.
If
Um,
if it's used right, it looks good. On the guitar
the
Will had, it looked really nice, but I'm usually not a fan of the binding either.
My
But
dad had a thin line that it had a red flame maple top on it, and it had binding on it, and the binding was black, but the it looked good. Part of it was because the top, that flame maple top, was a red burst.
mhm.
So it went to an extremely dark red, and then it had the black binding, and then the body was a very dark maroon red for the rest of the body.
Hmm.
Um, so it wasn't off-putting or anything like that. It's noticeable, but it's very subtle still. Where I've seen several that are a white binding on a dark body, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, yeah. It's like to define the shape.
Yeah,
It's yeah. I It depends. It depends on the guitar. The style of guitars I make, I don't like it because I like putting in the bevel on like the arm contour. And if you're doing arm
yeah,
contours and stuff, you can't do that. So it's like I think it's like it's kind of a leftover thing from the when they were kind of doing acoustic elements in electric guitars. And like I said, it's just another process. Like for certain guitars aesthetics it does work, but I think I would rather have an arm bevel than binding, you know.
yeah.
I always
Uh,
I always even on acoustic guitars I find my arm kind of just rubs a little bit. I like a little arm cutaway kind of thing. So,
you had just something that pops up in my head. Part of it is I've got this hardware laying here. Um, you had mentioned like hardware and quality on the kits versus ordering separately.
Yeah.
Um, and stuff like your neck plates, as long as you're buying like generic neck plates, they're all the same for
Yeah.
the most part. Now this is a uh, bridge out of a one of the tele kits that I've got,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got this ashtray bridge. I can pull this out of this plastic bag,
Yeah, I don't think
which
like with a tele bridge, I don't think it really matters and the plates and stuff.
it
It's just more
doesn't
of the
a whole lot.
tuners. The tuners I would be kind of skeptical of. But
Yeah. The tuners that I got on Black Heaven, those are I bought all that completely separately, not in a kit. And those tuners are some of the cheaper tuners that are out there, but they're very smooth.